guys, hope you're well. Back to you with another pre-review, or pre-ride review, or first impressions maybe I should start calling them, but this is the Superbrand cereal Keeler, and it's called the cereal Keeler because it is a twin keel fish, and it's brand new from Superbrand. It's another one of their basically sort of summer series, kind of pretty grovelly boards. It's designed to be short and wide and fairly chunky and flat rockered, and it's sort of their spin on a little bit more of the retro fish, but it's just been modernised a little bit. And yeah, these are literally I just saw this one pop into New Zealand, and you know, I've just been looking for the right twin keel board for me for a while. I was like, because I've got the Superbrand fling. I really like Superbrand, and the quality's really good. And all these polys are now they're all coming out of Australia, and they're made by the Shapers Collective, and I found them glassed really well finished, and the designs work really well. A lot of people have got Superbrand. They might not be as well known as the really big brands, but they've got a very good reputation for making some extremely good models and making them well. So yeah, this is the cereal Keeler. It's 6'0", 22 wide and 2 13/16, coming in at 42 litres. So it's spot on for me in my width and length and volume for a groveler. 42 is like just about right, I'd say, for a poly, so it should be able to also have a bit of range. It's not over volume for me, so it's good on surface area, but not overly chunky, because I do ride some of my boards up at 45 litres nearly, and you know, they catch waves easily, but they start to get a bit harder to get a rail in. So yeah, as you can see, it looks like a resin tint, but I believe these are actually called a swirl blank. So I think I saw on Instagram on the can't remember who the foam manufacturer is for them, but I saw a special order for Superbrand, and they had all these blanks with all these swirls in them. So I'm guessing that at the point where they mix or blow or whatever with the resin, they must do like a cake type thing where they put some colour in and mix it round. And yeah, apparently every single one of the blanks is unique because the swirls will end up in a different position. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I thought I'd show you guys before I stuck all the wax and everything on it as well. So board shape, we've got nice and thick up front, lots of meat under the chest, tapers down quite nicely into the tail, and you know, it's a nice forgiving rail up front, and it gets a bit sharp in the back, and the tail's just a really nice amount of keeping some volume but thinning it out as well. I'd say this should work really good. The outline shape, we've got quite a lot of width in the nose, and there's quite a lot of width at the middle, and there's quite a lot of width at the tail, but it's not super, you know, it's not a real straight tail keel fish. It's too wide and too straight. So yeah, I mean, yeah, the rock is nice and flat. So everything about this board says to me, good wave catcher, should be very fast, and should still have a little bit of good performance built into it, because it's got, you know, let's say the tail's really nicely designed. It's got a good blend of a, you know, deep, you know, it's a really nice blend of a deepish swallowtail, but not full retro, and it's got some curve in it too, but not, you know, it's got enough curve in it to keep the speed, but not so much that it's just going to track in a straight line. So yeah, very impressed with the looks of this so far. So I've yet to ride it, and I've got to grip it up and put wax on it and everything, but you'll see there, you know, nice flat rocker. So well made. They're coming out of Aussie and in the poly, and they're really well finished, and the designs work really well generally. So yeah, I'm expecting this to work in sort of knee to head high waves locally, because our waves are pretty slow really, and you know, it's mainly a longboard wave. And then the bottom contours are quite interesting as well. So I'll come around and try and show you, but they're actually quite subtle, which is nice. Well, they're certainly subtle in the front. So I think we've got like a little bit of single running in the front here, but as you get down the board, it's not long before a V starts, and I'm pretty sure it's a V a V with double, and it starts quite early. So that to me is all about making the board want to turn easily and cutting through chop really well. That's another thing that V's actually do quite well in the tail. So yeah, V bottom boards were traditionally had a lot to do with worked well in splitting choppy waves. So yeah, I'll try and explain that a bit. I think they actually call it spiral V as well. So it's basically okay. So V. So if your board's in the water, that's what just a V would look like. So obviously the point further into the water. So that's V, and then double V would be basically the same with an arc cut out of it, if that makes sense. So the double actually gives a bit more speed and a bit more grip. So obviously your single concave, if you're looking at the bottom of the board, the single concave is, if that's flat, that's single concave, and then that's double concave, and then you've got your V, and then the double V is basically that V with the arc of a double running inside it, and it just gives you that rail to rail feel, and it still allows quite a chunky board to grip quite well. That's what I find anyway. Bottom contours get kind of complicated, and the shapers know what works, and I don't think there's many shapers putting the wrong concaves for the board, and quite frankly most people wouldn't. I don't think most people would know if it would work or not for them. There's certain things I like. I usually like a double in the back's usually good for me, because I'm usually riding quite a high volume board, and I think they make the boards grip a little bit better, certainly on epoxy. And then V will allow a fairly big outline and flat rockered board like this to get itself on rail and make nice smooth transitions. So that's probably why they put quite a bit of V in here, just to help it turn more easily than the flat rocker and the plan shape might suggest. So yeah, I'll pop round and we'll have a bit of a look at the bottom contours, and I'll try and get a bit closer with this resin swirl so you can have a look. So here you can see this, sorry, I shouldn't say resin swirl, this foam, this foam that's basically a swirl blank. So basically you're seeing the swirl in the actual foam, and then the glass has gone over it, and it's made this beautiful like one-off pattern. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I think it looks really good. So let's try and get you a bit of a view of the bottom contours. This is always a bit hard, so what I'll do is I rock it round a little bit so you can see the points where the light hopefully come through it. So as you can see, we're up here. I'm not even sure if there is much of a single, to be honest. At first, when I first saw it, I thought there was a single up there, but I'm starting to wonder if it's just double V all the way through. So as you can see, this is already rocking, so that's the V, and because you can see the little bits of light under those panels as well, you know that it's actually a double with V, and that becomes more apparent as you get down there. So as you can see, if it was straight V, you wouldn't be able to see those little bits of light through the individual panels, and this is getting more and more rocky as it comes through the board. So just move around a little bit, so hopefully you can see that. So yeah, that's got quite a lot of V. So basically that's going to slice through the water nicely, cut through some chop, give some grip, and also make the board rail to rail nice and smooth. Okay, so for fins, this is Futures, so I'm actually already ready with these Captain Fins Christensen's. Christensen always makes good everything really, certainly as fins. So that's a nice big keel fin. It's actually almost identical to the FCS2's modern keel, and that's a really good fin as well. So yeah, if you've got FCS2, have a look at the modern keel. If you're a little bit lighter guy, like I'm like 88 kilograms now at the minute, which is a bit scary, but trying to lose some of that. So yeah, if you're about my weight, something like this, or the Rasters, or a K2, that's in Futures. And then obviously you'll be a bit more limited in FCS. You can get these in FCS, but I tend not to like just having the two tabs in such a big fin. And you'd be better off buying the FCS2's official modern keel fin. So yeah, that's the board, that's the fins. We'll come back with a ride review once I've ridden it a bit. I just thought you guys might like to see the board. I've not seen any reviews on this, so might actually be the first person with a first person out of a review. I'm usually looking at them quite far down the line to everyone else. So yeah, cool. All right, cheers guys. We'll catch you around soon, and yeah, I hope you're getting your summer gravel on if you're over this end of the world, and hope there's some waves coming through. And if you're on the other side of the world, where you're probably enjoying your decent winter waves. We'll catch you soon. See ya.